working on this for quite a bit, and we would like to present to y'all like a firsthand, fresh and hot. Uh, you wanna, Hideo, you wanna talk about it?
Yeah, for sure. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen. We'll share a doc on stage on screen share, and we'll probably walk through that deck quite a bit. So it'll be a little bit of reading, and I'm not sure if everybody enjoys reading, but there'll be a TLDR version of this, and we'll also post this in the white paper today. One section in the chapter alpha season one section, so you guys can check it out. Let me see if y'all can see it. All right, do let us know if you can see the screen in chat, please. Or can you see that?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So chapter one, as Roy mentioned, we've been working on this. This will still be during the alpha phase as we prepare for beta, but there's been a lot of requests for additional gaming content, which we're very excited to share. This is where we also go live with, the on-chain assets, specifically for this stage. This is going to be slightly different than the regular party games you've been playing. This is more based on the strategy side. Once this rolls out, along with this and also beyond this, there's additional multiple new party game modes that are coming out. There's TVX coming out. I don't know how much or not we want to share about that, but probably we can get to that after this, Roy, and we can share about what kind of game mode or when those game modes will come live, including the new party games, because I do see the team has been putting in a lot of work on the party game. There's one coming very, very soon, at least from what I see the completion. All right, let's dive in. So we'll read this together, and I hope y'all can. If you have any questions, please type it in chat or raise your hand and come on stage. So this is the narrative first, and this digital expanse beyond the limits of a screen lies a bustling metropolis of ByteCity. The world's neon skyline, populated by avatars divided into multiple worlds, through which factions wander across digital realms. Each faction, distinct and radiant in its own rights, has legends and heroes, but the daring few that are driven by ambition for hunger of treasures, are revered and feared. They're known as elite treasure hunters. So important to remember these folks over here. So rumors echo through ByteCity, hints of highly desirable resource known as silicon. So this is a very important resource that's coming into play. This will be an on-chain asset as well, since a lot of y'all had this question. It said that the elusive material holds the power to upgrade and transform, to amplify strength, enhance agility, and quicken the mind. An avatar enhanced with silicon becomes a formidable being, unmatched in any quest and yielding in battle. But there's a catch. The material is scattered across, the vast expanses of the Byte universe, hidden in places no avatar has ever ventured. So this is where it gets interesting because a whole new section is opening up for Byteverse and ByteCity. As y'all are aware, there's going to be multiple worlds that are going to be featured. This is currently where the ByteCity is. This is now the first step of the expansion into the different worlds. Speak a little bit about the elite treasure hunters. So, exploring and venturing from different parts of the digital world, the treasure hunters represent different factions in ByteCity. A collective group, the elite treasure hunters, decide to connect to the digital realm and dedicate their existence completing missions and quests. That's another thing to remember: missions and quests. Um, they know that the missions and quests are no easy feat as they prepare to raid each other in search of extracting and trading the resources. So I'm gonna take a quick pause just to see if everybody can see everything and hear it out. Uh, just heads up in chat, can y'all still see and hear well before I go on?
Yeah, please.
Awesome, cool. So treasure hunters can venture out into multiple locations in ByteCity for resources and treasure, and one of the most desirable resources, silicon, is consumed to strengthen and upgrade themselves, as previously mentioned. Extracting silicon entails PvP battles, raids, defense, and strategies. Silicon will be widely used in multiple worlds to build, to upgrade, to customize, and to expand the reign of different factions. Uh, Another important resource in Chapter Alpha Season 1 will be treasure map fragments and treasure maps themselves. So the fragments can be found by embarking in missions within ByteCity and side quests outside of ByteCity. The core objective is to gather map fragments from various locations in ByteCity and beyond, When certain fragments are combined and fused, i.e., put together, a full map is created, and this full map leads the treasure hunters to special loot, providing them with exclusive attributes and skills that enhance their battles. This is where it gets a lot of fun. It gets very exciting because there's going to be a lot of dynamic nature of the metadata and the soul of your avatars and assets, which get upgraded depending specific maps that you put together, and you lead to different parts in Byte City, and you can get the skill, and these skills are then used, in different battles and to increase your strength and go further. Um, of course,
So,
sorry, go on.
so is this a new race, new role, characters out there to be introduced? Is that the case?
Yes, yes. There's going to be multiple new factions that are coming in, and this whole group is known as the Elite Treasure Hunters.
Got it. And there's also a resource that they'll be fighting for, right?
Yeah, this is going to be a very important resource over here. It's called Silicon.
Got it. And I
And
said, and what's the use case for the silicon?
So Silicon has multiple different use cases. So I'm just getting to that right now. It will be an on-chain asset, and Silicon, the Elite Treasure Hunters, the missions quest, and the PvP. All of this will live on a layer two because we're expecting a high number of participation, a high number of transactions, and to ensure that it's very friendly to the whole community, this will live on a layer two. That specific layer two still TBD or to be announced rather to the community. And this will happen very, very soon. So this is not distant future. This is very, very near term. That's all of this is coming. So,
That's great.
yeah, I'm very excited for it personally. So silicon is an important resource and can be extracted from different locations. Given the importance and necessity of silicon, it is a finite resource with a limited supply. Another important thing to remember, silicon will be a limited supply. The treasure hunters will explore in battle to reach the top ranks of silicon extractors. The daily emissions of silicon will decay over time. Therefore, the treasure hunters must quickly take action and start resource extraction quests sooner rather than later. So multiple extraction hubs produce silicon. So extraction hubs are different locations within ByteCity that produce the silicon, and each hub produces silicon at a different capacity, enabling the explorers, and the explorers in this case are the treasure hunters, to strategize where, when, how to best dedicate their efforts. And silicon can be extracted by completing missions and quests along vicious PvP battles. The PvP battles. So treasure hunters can raid extraction stations. So what the extraction stations are is there's multiple different extraction hubs. Within each extraction hub, there's numerous locations that you can go and you can utilize the treasure hunters to extract silicon. And this is what we call an extraction station. So treasure hunters can raid extraction stations occupied by other players to loot the silicon yield. The attackers and defenders engage in PvP, and the winner is determined based on each treasure hunter's attribute and status. Um, the winner will take over the extraction station, i.e., the extraction location, and the silicon generation process. While an extraction station is under attack due to a raid, the station cannot be raided by additional group of treasure hunters. So I'll drop this down here. Silicon extraction hubs and stations. Like I mentioned, silicon can be extracted in different locations in ByteCity and Byteverse. The numerous extraction hubs, which produce silicon at different rates and yields. Within an extraction hub, there's multiple locations known as stations that produce silicon. Every extraction hub has a different number of stations, which the treasure hunters must battle to take over and participate. So I think this is also another factor that there's multiple extraction hubs. Different hubs have different production capacity or availability of silicon, and different hubs have a different number of stations which the treasure hunters can engage in battle and extract this resource. Each extraction station also has a limited supply of silicon that can be extracted daily, and silicon is spread across multiple stations. And one team of up to 3 treasure hunters can extract on any station. Now, this is the current design, and this is what we're rolling out with, but I just want to point it out there. It'll always be singular teams in the alpha phase, but you can have up to three treasure hunters extracting or raiding or attacking or defending each of these stations. That number of three treasure hunters could very well increase or decrease as we continue to balance this during the alpha phase. I just want to put that out there. Once the total available silicon has been extracted from the station, the treasure hunters must venture out to different stations, potentially new extraction hubs, to continue the hunt and continue the battles.
All right.
So
That's a
this,
lot of new concepts to reveal.
yeah. I just wanted to see if there's any questions before I move further because we have shared quite a bit. If you
Yeah,
guys,
I think I mean, there's a lot of things to unpack, right? The silicon it's a capped asset to be generated, right?
Mhm, that's
If
correct.
you, it is capped to be generated, there are concepts for and these silicons living each stations, which there are multiple stations per pad. Is that right?
Yeah, there's multiple stations per hub. So consider a station to be, its own different locations within a specific island to make it easier.
Got it. I see some questions popping out in the chats. Like, I think we will be getting to what the battles is like a bit later. Is that right?
Yeah, and
Um,
it wouldn't be too much later because right, if you want to give them the timeline, but all of this is, or majority of this is slated for, the later half of September.
sure. Let's talk about how to make a team. How do you make a team? Is there like what is a team concept?
I think they're referring to the teams of the treasure hunters between one to
Yes,
three.
exactly. Yeah.
So right now, by you owning a treasure hunter, you can send them. You can send the treasure hunter out to battle or to extraction missions and side quests. But you can have a team of currently up to three treasure hunters that you can send at any given go to one station. But that won't stop you from having
A
four, five,
guild
or
somewhere. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
you can have a guild. You can have multiple treasure hunters under your command, but you can at max allocate three treasure hunters of yours at a certain station.
Station, yeah, but you can have groups of three, for example, on multiple different stations in one hub, or multiple different stations in numerous different hubs. There'll be a fixed number of hubs that will be featured as well in September, and these hubs, not all of them will be active where you can go through for missions in, every hub, but it'll open up gradually.
Yeah, the reason why to have three treasure hunters is that better to extract and also better to defend or use for offenses rating reasons.
So, great question, and it's all three. One factor is the more treasure hunters are out on this mission, on an extraction mission, the faster you can extract silicon. So you are expediting the resource extraction, but also depending on the attribute, you might have a very strong treasure hunter or you can stack up to three treasure hunters to increase so the attribute is matched and now you can increase the power of your attack in the raid, or you can increase your power of the defense in the raid.
That's great to hear. It's like does it matter like is a limitation on what three treasure hunters I can put together? So like how am I gonna how am I decide like which three like treasure hunters I could put into one team? It's like randomly pick or I can cherry pick myself.
You can cherry pick yourself. That this is where the strategy will come in, and you can be utilizing different attributes and different skills to further enhance your own gameplay. And I think
Right.
every hub will also feature different extraction quests, extraction abilities, extraction time, and this is why we call this the strategy game side of ByteCity and Chapter Alpha because it just won't be, just close your eyes and blindly send it out. But you can do that if you want, but you can really get creative with this and strategize and really pick which treasure hunters you want to raid with, which station you want to raid. Specific stations might be providing a much better silicon extraction. But of course, that will be more highly desirable not just by you or your guild or by but by a lot of other players. So you can expect a lot more raids going on there, where some people strategize not to get into like, a lot of battles and heavy raids all the time. So they just go around into the less, popular hubs. And when I say popular, it's just for the fact that maybe they have lower extraction abilities.
So does it mean while I'm, like extracting or mining my silicon, I will be also rated? So like the treasure hunters, they are working on extracting, meanwhile protecting from getting raided.
Yeah, that's correct. Because while you're extracting, you can be attacked, and your yield can be looted if the raid is successful. So that's why you also have to ensure that your whole crew is tight knit, and that's where your strategies come in of what kind of attributes you want to use while raiding, and what kind of attributes you want to use while extracting, and what kind of attributes you want while defending.
So who will be raiding me? Or turn the evil side on a bit, like how can I raid others?
So who will be rating you will be other players. Really depending on the kind of treasure hunter crew they put together. And how can you raid others? It's the same way. When you're not, extracting, you can go out and raid others. The reason you want to raid is not just to take over their loot, but also you get, the extraction that they were participating in Silicon, but you also take over the extraction station. So it's like you coming into someone's house, taking their food and kicking them out. If you want to talk about the evil side, and now you've started using that and you're cooking in the kitchen.
Sounds like that's exactly what treasure hunters would do in the persona, right?
Yeah, for sure. Different factions, different there's different abilities, but I think all of them will probably be engaging in this kind of battle.
And I assume like different factions of the treasure hunters, through their growth, they may discover the different skills and the upgrades, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. It's not just your existing abilities or attributes and skills and strength, but you can go further to like acquire new skills, and this can be done dynamically. The acquiring of these new skills will be live from the get go as well, along with the raiding and the defending and the extraction process. So
How
really,
can
like,
I? So,
sorry, go ahead.
sorry. Now, how can we get? How can we get the skills? How can we get the upgrades?
All right, so let me come down here. So this is upgrades. You can do it with multiple different factors. One of the main one being silicon, right? So treasure hunters can upgrade their status by consuming silicon, making them stronger, better, and more efficient in producing silicon and attacking and defending. It is important to upgrade, defend, attack, and compete with other treasure hunters. And all the silicon used will, consumed for upgrades will be burnt, making the total availability of silicon deflationary and a scarce resource.
So the
So
silicon in total is capped, but
yeah,
also whenever people are using silicon, these particular silicons will be consumed and burnt,
that's
right? So
correct.
it's going to be less and less super scarcity of the silicon produced, which is why also making silicon more valuable, right?
That's correct. And silicon consumption is beginning in this strategy side right now, but throughout the alpha phase and leading into beta as well, silicon will spread further and will be utilized in different modes for
So
different utilities and things like that.
so another way to understand it, because silicon, I think we mentioned silicon is fair minted, meaning there's no pre-minting of silicon anywhere else. It's by people putting the treasure hunters on these stations or in the hubs has introduced and emit all these silicons from time to time, right?
That's correct. That's correct. And this is, people might think this is staking, but this is different than staking. So there will be different staking pools, as you'll have seen in the white paper. But this particularly is extraction missions where you go and you can be raided, and you have to raid others with your treasure hunters to extract this silicon.
Mhm.
Cool. Coming to the collection of silicon part. By the way, Roy, I'll touch base again on how to upgrade part, because there's other upgrade resources that you can use to get specific skills.
For
So
sure.
the multiple different ways to collect silicon. One is extracting. As you're aware, we've talked about this. Place the treasure hunters on extraction hubs to generate resource. The more treasure hunters you place on extraction station, the faster your yield is, given you're not being attacked or looted or raided. So there's a lot of factors that play into there. Raiding. So use a singular or collective treasure hunters and raid extraction hubs. Loot up to a certain percentage of your opponent's yield and take over the extraction hub. Uh, you can continue the extraction process. And then, like I mentioned, the staking. So stake a treasure hunter, get silicon over time. The amount is based on treasure hunter's rarity. How to extract silicon. We've just talked about this. Place them up to 3 treasure hunters after completing the process. The players must retrieve silicon from each extraction station. They can be raided during production and have to defend themselves. Fail to defend, you lose your power of the silicon yield. Consuming silicon, and I think this is important because though this is an introductory discussion, there's multiple different consumption points of silicon. So you can use your silicon to upgrade your treasure hunters. Very important. PvP battles, so consume silicon to power raids. Collect fragments. This is what we talked about earlier, the fragment treasure maps. So use silicon to purchase and acquire treasure map fragments. Fusing fragments together. So use silicon to fuse map fragments into a whole treasure map. As y'all are aware, we've recently introduced the fusing of different Genesis avatars and parts into oracles. So that has already been given y'all a taste of how fusing will work, and now this fusing will be increased on a much larger scale for different fragments.
And
And
now
then
it's fusing on the cheaper game.
yeah, and this will be all of this, like I said, will happen on a layer 2, so it's gonna be a lot of fun, and y'all don't have to worry about the gigabyte cost and wait for specific hours to like fuse. Like you can just wake up and start fusing if you like. Seriously, it's going to be amazing. The raffles is another important one. I think it's going to be fun. So you can use Silicon to join ongoing raffles with amazing prize pools, including Oracle, Genesis, Avatars, Treasure Hunter, Silicon, Treasure Map Fragments, and many more valuable assets within ByteCity, and other partners that we're working with as well will be providing into this raffle. So as you can see, all of these consumption points, the Silicon used over here will be burnt. So it's
That's
going to be
amazing.
it's going to be continuously burned each time it's used, and we feel very confident about the amount of consumption that will occur through these different points. Coming, sorry, go on.
So, what can I, what can I use silicon? How can I attack? Like, so if I attack other teams, right?
Yeah.
One hub or one station at a time. So, are these silicons? What kind of loot can I get from these attack?
So when you're attacking extraction stations, you're also getting silicon loot because the people that are extracting are like the treasure hunters, and the players that are extracting on the station, they're extracting the silicon as a resource.
Got it. And how do people like it? How would the treasure hunters as a defender team do they know when they're attacked and how do they defend themselves? Is like passively, i.e., the defender if they're stronger in stats and skills
Yeah.
and it just automatically wins, right? It should be pretty simple a battle, right?
Yeah, so what we're doing is we are in for this month, well, it's August, so September, which is like tomorrow. During the second half of September, we'll be introducing this. That's the goal. We're aiming to bring it out to public for the alpha version. And we're keeping it very simplified. We've had a lot of discussions where we even thought about not including the upgrades or the battles in this alpha phase, but we really want to bring it out there. But because we're introducing the upgradability and the PvP battles and the collection of different fragments and pieces, we want to simplify the battle side of it. So to get people accustomed and for people to understand the whole concept is going to be very simple, very intuitive to use. This will be based on the treasure hunter PFPs and the factions, and then this will then transform into down the road into the different party games and into further 3D worlds.
Got it.
Yeah. So, and just want to remind everyone, we're doing all of this in alpha, and the reason we're rolling it out in phases like this is to ensure things are balanced, things are tested out with the community and the early adopters. But also, there's been a lot of requests. We've had a lot of private conversations about introducing, uh, earnability of different assets. And I think, this is going to be a very important asset in the, Byte City and the multiple worlds that are coming. And, this is also a very fun and immersive way to potentially engage and collect this resource.
Cool,
Okay,
cool.
this is the final bit of it, right? The fragments and treasure maps. So season one will feature different types of maps that can lead you to exclusive chapter alpha season one treasures. Fusing the fragments create treasure maps, which unlock unique resources and skills for treasure hunters in the digital realm. So this is why you're asking earlier, how can you get skills besides silicon? That having a treasure map is a huge deal as well. The reason is the treasure maps can lead you to unique loot, enabling the treasure hunters to unlock strengths, skills, and missions. By unlocking strengths and skills, we mean if you have a full treasure map, to simplify it, you can unlock new attributes that will automatically be attached to the soul of your avatar. That gives you an edge and allows you to venture out further and extract better and be more efficient in attacking and defending. So all players can collect the treasure map fragments. So the fragments themselves are NFTs as well. And when I say all players, I mean all players in Byte City, all the avatars, all of y'all that are existing, the virtual avatars and the NFT avatars, but only treasure hunters can fuse them into a complete treasure map. So you need, let's say, each map, there's different types of map. These numbers, the details, this will roll out throughout September. Keeping it light in this conversation right now. So for example, there's 10 different fragments that you need for one treasure map. You've collected them. You either did missions, quests, and you got them, or you bought them off the secondary, or you fought and got them. Once you have 10, you can then fuse them together. And owning this map will provide you a treasure box and to the treasure hunters, which has exclusive abilities, attributes, and skills. This will provide an edge while raiding, attacking, looting, and defending, positively impacting the amount of silicon that treasure hunters can extract, collect, and store.
That's quite a lot. So the people that they can get fragments, and everyone can get fragments,
Yeah,
meaning
yeah,
that it doesn't matter you engage into, or so, it doesn't matter you're treasure hunters or not. You can get you can get fragments of these treasure maps. So how do they get the fragments?
So there's different missions within Vice City that you'll have to complete. This will be included in the party games by playing the party games, opening loot. There'll be hidden treasures within
Just
Vice.
everywhere, even in the treasure boxes, all over the
Yeah,
place, right? The people
yeah,
just anything they from here and there, they'll be bump into fragments. Doesn't matter if they play the fighting or not. Doesn't matter they own the treasure hunt or not. They could be using their avatar by default by walking around. They get to bump into, hey, there's a fragment of the treasure map. You know,
that's correct.
either right. Got
That's
it.
correct. But there'll be certain locations within Byte City that will feature certain types of fragments, while others will be much harder to acquire. And these will be more, people will be fighting out for them in party games, or there'll be social side quests that you can complete to get certain fragments. You can get certain fragments in the strategy game. So they'll be really spread all across Byte City and the Byte City worlds. This is how, a lot of players will get exposed to this. But now, another important thing to mention, the silicon extraction hubs and stations, the PvP raiding, the looting, the defending, that can only be done by the treasure hunters, the elite treasure hunters. But acquiring of the fragments and participating in the missions to get the fragments and all this can be done by the treasure hunters and all other, players and avatars in the Byte City ecosystem.
It feels like there's kind of ecosystem going on in a season one here, right?
That's correct.
While a certain group of users, they can just focus, or they want to, take it in a chill way, more chill way to just collect, just to keep on collecting. While they're collecting, they can, with the fragments, and correct from Iran, different fragments fuses different maps, i.e., ABC can come to a treasure map, but 123 can come to a different treasure map, right? It's
That,
a different skews, right?
that's correct. Yeah. So I just want to point out, I think you just said it reverse, if I'm not wrong, unless I heard wrong. So different maps will require specific fragments.
Mhm.
So like there's going to be resources that you acquire, and maybe you'll have to work together in in your guild, or you'll have to work together with your group, and you'll have to collect these fragments to put them together. Also, another point that I already mentioned earlier, but I want to point out again, that anybody can collect these fragments, right? All players. But when it comes to the fusion part and the usability of these maps to open the loot, it's only the elite treasure hunters that can do it, and it's only the elite treasure hunters that can benefit from getting this treasure unlocked.
It's only the treasure hunters can upgrade with the skills that's being created through these maps and stuff, right?
That's correct. In this phase, yes.
Yeah, so essentially that works out as an ecosystem where you can see collectors of the fragments could be spread across the whole ByteCity ecosystem because fragments lives everywhere, bits and pieces around every corner of the street or around the game. They can collect them. Meanwhile, these collected assets can be gathered or fed to the treasure hunters who wants to level up and make themselves more beefed up to either to raid others, be a badass,
Yeah,
or defend themselves, right? Protect the rare treasures of the silicon because silicon is only mintable by the treasure hunters. I mean, generated only by the treasure hunters, and there's rare assets because it's being utilized across the past, right?
that's correct.
So that's quite a ecosystem going around there. It's a
Yeah, and also a lot to unpack for the community, honestly, because I kept going on and on and on. I also want to, open this publicly on the white paper, so we will share this out there. But sorry why I cut you off there earlier because I was just reading questions as well. But maybe we can take some questions if you're down for it.
yeah, let's do that.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, happy to take any questions here, folks. I'll just go through chat right now. So, blah, blah, blah. Okay, coming down with only 600 total oracles by DSG. Does the team have some for these raffles or creating new ones? That's correct. Yes, there's definitely going to be oracles featured in the raffles. That is the reason that 5% of the supply for the Genesis was minted for the treasury, and 100% of that supply is going for giveaways and raffles. And treasure hunters will be a new mint to get these. Yes, that's correct. Also want to point out, sorry, another question I see below that. Are oracles classed as a treasure hunter? No, they're not
No.
currently classed as a treasure hunter. But as you are aware, owning an oracle gives you a free claim to all the drops. So if you have an oracle, you are getting a treasure hunter drop to you. So it's as good as having. It's as good as them being able to do it. And this is just a treasure hunter, but every other mint that comes through, they'll be able to, claim any other avatars or factions that come in just before owning the Oracle. Now, the Oracle will not be participating in extraction, but the Oracle will be participating in staking. So that's where the difference comes in. DSG say, let's hope you optimize contract to keep gas low. That wouldn't be a problem because this will be on a layer 2. So for the same, I think you can do thousands of fusions for the same cost that you fuse one oracle over here. So not a problem at all. Luke mentioned it'll be on there too. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate it. So somebody asked, I missed the beginning. What's the role of Oracle for season 1? Oracle's huge because holding the Oracle just gives you access to like getting the treasure hunters right there and without you having to participate in anything else. It not just only gives you a white list, but you get a free claim to a treasure hunter, and the treasure hunter can do all of these things. Plus, your oracle can then also participate in staking and other missions. Now, the season 1 will expand much longer, but oracles in chapter alpha season 1 in this first phase, that's what the oracles are doing. But oracles have multiple of the utilities that will come into play. With everything that's going on, we can't, it's really hard to just bring everything on the table and allow all the avatars and assets to do multiple different things. So we're balancing it out, and by introducing the treasure hunters, and like I said, owning an oracle gives you a free claim to a treasure hunter. So just want to put it out there that I think a lot of people haven't understood it, why the fusing and what's the utility of this fusing. Besides all the utilities that you already see of an oracle, this is the first major one that we mentioned that you will get claims and airdrops, and basically you're getting full exposure to extracting silicon here. Um, Going further, treasure are the treasure hunter NFTs? Yes, they're NFTs. They're going to be NFTs. So the fragments can be purchased on marketplaces. We know that all of these fragments are just acquired in game by completing missions and quests and battling it out and playing party games and the new party games that are coming in ByteCity. But can they be traded on marketplaces and purchased? Yes. If you want to list your fragment on a marketplace or you want to trade with somebody else, you can do it. We will not be listing them, or the team will not be listing them, because these fragments can only be acquired and extracted by the players themselves in ByteCity ecosystem. Uh, does treasure hunters have different rarity? For sure. A lot of different rarities, a lot of different attributes, a lot of different groups, i.e., factions of the treasure hunters. And they look really, really, really cool. We've done a couple of different tests with the community. Gameaholic has been getting a lot of exposure to all of this stuff, and he's pretty hyped. It was great to see. He's recently joined the team. He's leading community management. Shout out Gamo, by the way. Exceptional. You're doing. It's great to have you on the team. That's the least I can say. So it's amazing to work with you, and yeah,
That's great.
it's been super cool. I'm excited to have him on board. Um, One treasure hunter per wallet per oracle. It's one treasure hunter, per oracle. Is it per wallet and all? That's still TBD, but it's all on there too. So at this point, we can ensure that everything's optimized and it'll be like all practically free to claim. Um, how does fighting and defending work? Is it done automatic when you send them out? An algorithm determines the outcome. Can we use strategy control? You can definitely use strategy in this, but in the first phase, it's automated to keep it very simple, as we mentioned, because it's in alpha. The details of these fights will come up in September as well, which is very soon because we want to roll this out in September. Uh,
Yeah, I also recommend like people can think about strategy around not only on doing your own collections, but also how you're rolling out through your own guilds as well, right? Because like you may have one treasure hunter, you may have three treasure hunters, but the reality is the stronger people stay strong, become stronger when they stick together, right? So given there's different factions and there's different pursues and different like guilds, like either way, I think we can definitely see the ecosystem, these are kind of a social elements being built across the existing economy or ecosystem flowing through, right? I totally imagine there'd be guilds who would be very specialized into collecting different fragments. People being playing across the whole every corner of the street could be collecting these elements and just put it onto the market for collectors and or for treasure hunters of other groups to fuse them, where we can see there are certain collectors that be only collecting only special rare fragments that's so rare until you can collect them to fuse into a map, a treasure map, which gives you upgraded skills and stuff, right? They can collect like a 1 out of 99, so that and people would need to get that to fuse to get this team stronger, yada
yeah.
yada, right? Because there's important upgradable materials. And by the way, when they're fused, of course, the original fragment would be burnt as well. But also, we can see guilds formed with a bunch of players where they have tons of treasure hunters. They're becoming a badass guild that raiding everyone on the planet. So they will be basically go out from hub to hub, raiding resources. They don't care about like farming their resources. The only way for them to get resources by raiding people and making destructions. That is a different type of. And then the other group is basically I can easily imagine like, oh, so we have some strong like treasure hunters. Do need some defense element of it. Yeah, yeah. So I can rent out my treasure hunters to yours, so that we can work on something of a strategic deals so that we can get some assets, split between teams to teams. So I can totally see the strategic, utilities between players coming out. I mean, we try to keep things as nature as possible, as simple as possible, instead of complicating. But these kind of the features or utilities will come out naturally through the iterations of the system. We the season one, I mean, first season was really about the bare bones of ecosystem, right? I think it's like not even so much of a conflict. I think it's a rating. Rating is right now, as you can tell, it's like the very basic level of rating. I mean, it could be both brutal, but also it's more rewarding as well. I think it's coming into the both side and the scary side of it.
Yeah, just to touch upon that, I think it's a good segue to a question that I saw here with Havoc and DSG both. It's very time consuming, but it's totally opposite. Actually, this is the reason we're introducing the most bare bone power fit because not everybody has the time to go through the party games or spend 4 minutes to 10 minutes playing the party games. So this is where folks that want to participate in strategy games can just come and deploy their treasure hunters and they can go on missions and do it. There'll be different time zones, but what we're also working on is you're not bound to come back and do it at specific time. Whereas if you decide, hey, I don't want to come back after a certain time and my treasure hunters are still there, let them be. But as time progresses, the risk factor of you getting raided or losing a bigger part of your silicon extraction also increases. So these are the kind of mechanics that we're working and testing out, and this is why we bring it out to you all in the earliest alpha phase. So we can build publicly, we can show it to you guys, can play it and get valuable feedback and fine tune it if needed as we
Yeah,
prepare
and
for.
on that note, I mean, like, I think it's a very easy way to take the real chill way to get assets by upgrading. Make sure you're OP your treasure hunters across everyone, right? If that is OP, then of course no one can beat you. But how would you know your treasure hunter is always OP? There are always going to be guilds, always be people like getting like these resources to make sure they have their own utility. Of course, for the people who really spend time, their resources making their treasure hunters OP, they will be handsomely rewarded because nobody can beat them. They are becoming a dominating force, across the whole realm, to get all these things they need to. That's also very much likely, which is also fair because they put the heavy lifting, they put the work into these their treasure hunters, and there should be rewarded accordingly.
Yep, that's correct. Um, Continue to a few questions over here. Can players raid together? This is about DSG again. Can players raid together, create someone together, or any solo fights? Yeah, it's a possibility. Like we said, currently the current design, you can raid anywhere ranging from 1 to 3 treasure hunters. So that's what we have right now. Like I said, this is we're still fine tuning. This could very well go to 4, reduce to 2, or go to 5. Or it could go live as max 3, and during the same season that could increase. Now you can use 4 and 5. How many treasure hunters will be created, or is unlimited? No, this is going to be a limited number of treasure hunters. The exact number we'll share this around in about 10 days, 2 weeks. Um, can the team share the Word file later? No, we won't share the Word file, but all of this will be updated on the white paper. So you can check out the white paper today. We'll be posting this in the white paper. It'll be called Chapter Alpha Season 1 section. And that section already is there. This just hasn't been updated. We literally wanted to bring it out to the community first, get feedback from you all, share the idea, because we've been very excited about it. But it's been in motion for a while, so we're ready to bring it out very soon as well. Rent platform, you mentioned Silicon is on chain, so able to buy and sell exchanges. Silicon will be on chain, but this is not pre-minted. So nothing is coming from the team. There's nothing coming from ByteCity. All the Silicon that will be extracted by the players participating in the treasure hunters. The treasure hunters will be able to list them on the exchanges or sell them on exchanges or peer-to-peer or trade
Or
them.
buy from the exchange because they can't wait.
Exactly. If you don't want to wait for the missions, you can buy on exchanges. But of course, you're buying it on exchanges listed by other players as well. But again, the silicon will also be on a layer 2, so there's no worries about transaction cost or gas fee at all. But to make it even sweeter, you can continue all these transactions, admissions, and extractions, the Web 2.5, where you're doing a lot of this virtually, and anytime you feel, hey, Will, I want to take this off chain, on chain and mint them, you can do it, or you can continue virtually. So it's as reduced friction as possible in this. And again, I know there's a lot to unpack here, so y'all know I just tag Roy and I in chat, and we'll be happy to answer questions further if y'all need it. Happy to take a few more questions here before we wrap it up, but even in
Yeah.
city into a general chat.
Were there any other things similar to NOBI that will be on chain, but this time it's liquidity provided on chain by the team? Well, if it's not pre minted, then the team doesn't have the liquidity either. Um, if we would be the same as everybody else to trying to extract these assets as well. Um, it's I think this the whole thing is comes to the bare bone of the economy and how economy flows, and it also comes to front in the mindset that with economy, as the economy flows this way, but also giving every cohort of users to participate, right? Because that really drives into different roles and the ways of strategically play for our users. Namely, people could be just purely, collecting these assets to put on the market, and just to make profit from that. These business people will be doing that. There'll be other group of people just to raid people, which is very satisfying when you have an OP and have a dominant force, or just a group of people having a dominant force. They share the resources, share their OP, share the hunters, but fight each other's stronger guys, and also people like defending others as well. So this is the ecosystem that the bare bone of the ecosystem. That sounds really exciting, and we're super excited for that to have everyone a chance to build like flow, economy flow across everything. So it's really catering for a different, a variety cohort of players who wants to really have fun and hang out. Yes, I mean that's the what we're building for, right? It's you can totally do that. Everything stays as is, nothing changes. But for other people want to do something more strategic, number driven, yes, you can also do that. That's the whole purpose of the ByteCity. That is a hub for every digital collectible, where everyone can come in to engage in different activities. Like while they're doing all these strategic, they can use their other avatars to participate into the gameplay, hang out with friends, have a laughter. That's all the same. That's at the same as happening at a simultaneous happening simultaneously. So we want to include the funnel as big as possible. Um, get everyone to come in to engage.
Yeah, for sure. And also want to add to this that while this is rolling out, in September, there's also other features on ByteCity that will be rolling out. There'll be, different party games. There'll be TPS. So you'll see a lot of motion in parallel in different kind of game modes. And you'll have an option to hop around, explore different things if you want, or just like simply just send your treasure hunters out, or play the party games, or play a TPS, or participate in different features that are loading. So like there's a bunch of different things going on during this alpha, and I'm just really glad, honestly, like really happy that y'all are here and spending time, dedicating a time to hear what we have to say as well, and participating in this together. It makes it all the worthwhile.
Yeah, and I think it's that's I think GSG pointed out. We just don't want to pay to play. We believe certain people can pay to upgrade, but we want everyone to have chance in the road to participate. But as you see, all these genesis and oracles, they're all free, right? They're all free to get people to participate in. I can see and I can see a lot of free elements for people from fragments for people to collect, right? There's a lot of roles to introduce, and everyone, if the for the OGs in our community, from the early days, you see there's so many free stuff for you to collect and to build up towards your rows, your oracles, right? These are all free, and getting oracle gets you all these free, like a free means of the new avatars, and that is like a whole like a thread or avenue of the free to play. Meanwhile, also that means that for people who not necessarily interested to be the just the grinding of the game site, they can just completely for free grinding on the collecting of the fragments. You can see it's like it's becoming a little society, a little ecosystem itself to real sustain. But as the real world goes, like some people will just accelerate faster using the muscles and resources, uh, to better accumulate certain assets to grow faster. That also happens, and there's definitely a market for that, given all these materials and the goals. So we're really excited for this, and we think honestly this defines a new era of Web3 gaming. I just don't see a market that's being providing a ecosystem from day one and offering these assets uh, to as an internal loop within the ecosystem. It's open ecosystem, it's open economy, yet providing all the funnels on all the cohort users to come in. And the game is simple enough as like we always want to focus on as simple as possible things. It's simple enough just to work on the UI to click, yet you will have, as always, you will feel the experience, the quality provided by the team, of the experience. You would not miss that. So that's the very first time I'd expect more and more guilds. I mean, I'm not sure. As we receive more demands down the road, like we create more guilds, amount of system together. These are definitely something we expect to see, but happy to support the community however we can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. Well said on that. Also want to point out that while you guys are, playing or sending your treasure hunters out on these extraction missions and quests and raiding, while they're doing the thing, you can very well be spending your time on the party games if you want or doing anything else. So like there's opportunities for you to do multiple things simultaneously as well. And I want to touch up a little bit on the oracles that you were mentioning earlier. I was just looking at the stat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we started Fusion this week on Monday. So this is the fourth day. I hope I'm not living in a different world, but 13.5% of the Genesis supply has been burnt.
Wow, 13%.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to
That's
get my stats wrong, but maybe Gamer, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I definitely think it's 13.5% of the stats of the Genesis Mint has been burnt already. I think people have been fusing oracles, and I really hope you all understand the first major utility of holding this oracle gives you access to if you're
let's
on.
let's let's tweet it out. Let's tweet it out.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We will be sharing these stats today as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
DHG, I feel you, man. Gas, I see that in the community a lot. The gas, waiting for optimal time. But with the treasure hunter, this new strategy game coming in, this is going to be absolutely zero worries of gas at this point. So this is why Havoc, when you're asking about one wallet or one oracle, like at this point, even if you hold multiple in your wallet, the claims or airdrop, whatever it'll be, shouldn't be a problem. It's a layer two. There's no cost involved in this, or practically a negligible cost. Yeah, thank you, Gamer. So it is 13.5%. Guys, it's literally been day 4 of using, and 13.5% of the supply has deflated. So,
Yeah.
this is amazing. This is exactly what we're aiming for a deflationary supply of the Genesis. The people that are, flipping them for under what they probably paid to mint it in gas, I'm very surprised, and I'm very surprised people haven't caught on to the importance of an oracle. And this is just day 4 of the oracle, and we've announced this, so you can imagine what else is coming for the oracles. And that's why they're a very limited number of just 600.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like if people, I mean, we want people to take time, right? Time themselves on the right gas. I mean, this is crypto, this is Ethereum, but Ethereum also where the Genesis lives, and we are coming from the old days, and we think Ethereum is still the vanilla solution for everything. But we can see though, it's gonna be a certain time that the treasure hunters will drop. So I mean, like take your time, but not too much time left. I would say I mean, just time yourself on the gas fee, just to pick your slot, and but we're tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow, September, more dates will be announced where it's gonna be the PFPs, the avatars for the treasure hunters will be announced. Where will be distributed will be announced on a layer two solution. So the dates will be announced soon. So but you have all the time necessary to upgrade. We think like if you can do it in 4 days, I mean we're super pumped to see what we can do in another 12 days also.
Yeah, this is hype. I just saw Andy. Andy just fused one more. Thank you, Andy. So that's four more burn people. So
Nice.
another deflation. I expect after today's announcement, honestly, I think there'll be a lot more fusions occurring now. Because like really being a free mint, you'll have to acquire four different parts, which a lot of people have done. In fact, they've done more than that, and you have to spend a tiny bit on gas. And you fuse this, but we feel that what you're getting in return just from this alpha season alone by holding the oracles already surpasses the time and effort put into getting the oracle, I think. And the fact that it was accessible to everyone, we're excited that people that understand the concept are going to be able to reap the benefits of it. So yes,
Well,
and there's Genesis verification roles, there's Oracle holder roles right now. So please, if you haven't done it, please get verified. We'll be creating channels for you all as well for different holders. We'll be brainstorming these kind of ideas that we shared with you, but we want to reach out to the Oracle holders and discuss these kind of ideas with you all. So as these channels get set up, we'll have a closed line to the team, and additional people from ByteCity as well.
yeah,
Cool.
and
I
also
think. Sorry, go on, go on,
I
go
think
on.
I think like we're about. I'm just about to say we're around the time, and
Yeah.
feel free to tell your buddies, your friends about this is new, the new economy we have here. I think it's very freshly introduced in the ecosystem, but correct if I'm right, but please raise a hand and reject me that it doesn't feel naturally fit into our crypto gaming ecosystem, right? I I would be humbly, but also proudly say the ecosystem and these mechanics is gonna be one of a kind as a defining force for the Web3 gaming. I see a lot of people will be playing variety of FPS games, a variety of card uh, TCG games, but fundamentally we see crypto is about collecting, about the asset, and it's about also providing a variety of gameplays. And please, and we can get more people to come on board to tell your friends to come on board to try it out, and I think that we'll all have a great time. And oh yeah, one last thing forgot to mention: be prepared for next Monday. We got great news to release for you all, and a feature that you're all being asking for a long time. So be prepared for that, and we're super pumped to see that's all happening together.
I literally had to look at my log list and be like, what are we releasing next Monday? Because there's so much going on. I'm like, oh yeah, I still like this one.
Oh, I mean, I shit you not. There's so many things going on, and kudos to
Yeah.
the team. Honestly, the team. Sometimes if we are slow on the reply, which I think, I think Gamma did already a great help into answering the questions. But at first, please be with us because there's some new magic being brewed.
Yep, yep. Awesome. This was a great area. I think we're a little over time, and really appreciate all of you for spending the hour, slightly longer than an hour, being here. I hope we provided some valuable information, some valuable content to y'all. Would love your feedback. You guys know we have different channels. Please share as much as you want of this in the city center to get exposed to what we shared here, to get to know more about what we're posting on the white paper. So seeing more conversations in city center will be great. Asking questions there will be great, and we'll be around to answer. And with that, I think I'll end the stage over here. Once again, thank you everyone, and let's catch up in City Center. Have a great day. Have a great night. See you around.